You could be lying awake at 2 a.m., drenched in sweat, heart racing for no reason, and still be years away from menopause. That's the part almost nobody tells you. Most women think menopause hits like a switch. One day you're fine, the next day it starts. But that's not how it works, and thinking it does can leave you confused, dismissed by doctors, or convinced something's wrong with you when your body is actually doing exactly what it's supposed to. I'm Kristen, and today we're clearing up one of the most misunderstood transitions in women's health, the real difference between perimenopause and menopause, why doctors often miss it, and why knowing which stage you're in can change how you take care of yourself for the next decade. Let's start with perimenopause, because this is where most of the confusion begins. Perimenopause literally means around menopause. It's the transitional stage where your ovaries start slowing down hormone production, but unevenly. Estrogen doesn't decline in a smooth line. It spikes, drops, spikes again, sometimes within the same week. Imagine a dimmer switch being flicked randomly instead of gradually turned down. That erratic pattern is exactly why symptoms feel so unpredictable. One month you feel normal, the next your cycle is chaos. This stage can start as early as your late 30s, though it typically begins in your 40s, and it can last anywhere from a few months to over a decade. During perimenopause, you're still having periods, but they can become irregular, heavier, lighter, closer together, or further apart. Alongside that, symptoms like hot flashes, mood swings, sleep disruption, and brain fog can show up long before your cycle actually stops. Here's where it gets interesting. Research published in the journal Menopause has shown that hormone fluctuations during perimenopause can actually be more intense than the hormone levels during menopause itself. That's right, the transition can sometimes feel rougher than the destination. Now let's talk about menopause itself, because the definition is more specific than most people realize. Menopause isn't a phase, it's a single point in time, officially marked 12 months after your very last period. That's it. Once you hit that 12-month mark without a period, you're no longer in perimenopause. You've crossed into what's called postmenopause, and you stay there for the rest of your life. At this stage, your ovaries have significantly reduced hormone production, and estrogen and progesterone settle at consistently low levels. No more wild spikes, just a new, steady baseline. For many women, some symptoms, especially the unpredictable mood swings tied to hormone fluctuation, actually start to ease once they reach this stage, even though others, like vaginal dryness or bone density changes, can continue or even increase. So here's the key distinction. Perimenopause is the roller coaster. Menopause is the marker you pass once the roller coaster stops, and postmenopause is everything after. Why does this distinction actually matter? Because it changes how you and your doctor approach your health. If you're still in perimenopause, you can still get pregnant, a fact that surprises a lot of women who assume irregular periods mean fertility has ended. It hasn't, not until that full 12-month mark is reached. This affects birth control decisions, family planning conversations, and how symptoms should even be evaluated. It also matters for treatment. Hormonal fluctuations in perimenopause often respond differently to interventions than the steady, low-hormone state of postmenopause. A treatment plan that makes sense for one stage may be completely wrong for the other. This is part of why so many women say they feel dismissed. They're told, "You're too young for menopause," when the real issue was never menopause itself, but the transitional chaos of perimenopause, which doctors sometimes overlook entirely. So here's the biggest myth to leave behind: the idea that menopause is something you'll clearly feel happening in real time. It's not. Menopause is a diagnosis made in hindsight. You only know you've reached it once a full year has passed without a period. Everything leading up to that point, all those unpredictable symptoms and irregular cycles, is perimenopause doing its work. The truth is, this transition isn't a malfunction. It's a biological process every woman who lives long enough will go through, and understanding its stages is what turns confusion into clarity. If you're in the middle of unpredictable symptoms right now, that doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It likely means your body is simply in transition, and that transition has a name, a timeline, and an endpoint. If this helped make sense of what you or someone you love might be going through, share it with her, because too many women go through this feeling like they're the only ones confused by it. And as always, this video is for educational purposes only. and isn't a substitute for personalized medical advice. If you're experiencing symptoms that concern you, talk to your doctor.